Well, in 2020, they decided to use Dominion voting, and we'll bring that up here in a moment because the foozery started during that time. They allowed illegal aliens to vote. They allowed people to vote from properties that didn't exist. People admitted, we showed the study, people admitted 17% to 21% admitted to committing voter fraud. They admitted that they used somebody's ballot and filled in information of who they're voting for. You saw that right now. You're seeing that. There's video of it. People are forcing their grandmothers to vote for Kamala Harris because that grandmother don't know what the F's going on because she's old. They're taking advantage of her. They're sitting there harvesting ballots, which we saw from a CNN broadcast that actually accidentally caught that. They're allowing they're not going to take the non-citizens off the voter registration rolls, and they're filing lawsuits. So you have here non-citizen illegal alien voting could deliver key swing states to Harris, study finds. Oh, really? Oh, gee. A significant number of illegal aliens and other non-citizens, well, they just manage to vote. Yeah, they just manage it. Remember, every media outlet, these fucking idiots, come out and go, well, it's illegal to vote. They can't do it. It's already illegal. Yeah, no shit, it's illegal. God, these people are so... I'm amped up today because I'm pissed because I got flagged before I even said anything. Might as well say whatever the F I want then. Of course they're freaking... It's illegal, you idiot. We all know that. We're not stupid. Clearly she is. It was already illegal for them to come through the border illegally, you idiot. So if they're willing to break the laws then, do you think they're really going to give 2 Fs to break the law when it comes to voting or when it comes to whatever laws are already on the books? But this is the problem. These people get paid millions of dollars to not have any sort of thinking behind them. The report from the Center of Immigration Studies found that the number of voting age citizens in key swing states outnumbers the margins, check this out, of the victory in 2020 election. Meaning it's worse. And obviously it's worse, right? Because you had 10.5 minimum illegal immigrants come through the border just under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's tenure, indicating that non-citizens could be materially change the outcome of the November 5th election. Materiality is generally used for auditing or some sort of scientific kind of study. Materiality means that there's it has a drastic, significant impact. We'll call it that, significant impact on the outcome, meaning it's beyond the air. What that also means is that idea of us making it too big to rig is kind of being thrown out here for the swing states. I'm going to say that again because that's a big problem. We as Republicans or independents, because we got a lot of independents that watch the show, we're trying to get and mobilize so many people out to vote for Trump that maybe weren't voting before or kind of just like couch potatoes. Like I'm not going to get up to vote for this guy. I want him to win, but I'm not going to go to the polls or vote early or whatever. Well, we're trying to get everybody to vote for him so that it's too big to rig. But here's the problem. In swing states, they're saying, it's just not going to work out. It's too hard to rig it now, or it's too easy to rig it because the materiality change. That's a problem. The Census Bureau data collected earlier this year indicated there were 23.2 million voting age non-citizens in the country, you guys. 23.2 million. Roughly half of whom are illegal immigrants. Oh, shit. Well, we know where they are. Yeah, we know that they're here, but they'll stay here. Lovely. Our analysis does show that in a dozen states, plus Nebraska's 2nd district, the non-citizen population in 2024 is potentially large enough to exceed the state's winner's margin in 2020. Mathematically, there are 12 states plus Nebraska's 2nd, again, congressional district where the voting age non-citizen population is larger in 2024 than the state's winner's margin of victory. A big problem. That's a huge problem. So not only were we already fighting against legacy media, not only were we already fighting against the entire establishment, not only were we fighting against the deep state, not only were we fighting against the entertainment industry and the lies and all the foo-hoo that goes on, but now we're actually fighting against our own government that's allowing this stuff to happen and is getting so fucking ballsy with it that they're actually posting, yeah, we know there's 23.5 million people here that are going to vote illegally. Like, what? Yeah, we know there's people that are on the rolls that are illegally going to vote, but, there's nothing we can do about it. Sorry. Oh, by the way, here's a lawsuit. Isn't this shit crazy? Isn't this crazy? Now, you might think the news, though, Brad's telling me that illegals can't vote. You're talking about this election fraud, but you're telling me one thing, but the legacy media is telling me another. Yeah, well, here's some more proof, because we got to show these people the receipts, right? And as we should. You will be held accountable. What happened here in Ohio, Patriots? This comes from the Daily Wire. Most of our articles do. That, Fox News, and some other independent sources. Oh, wait. Oh, well, Ohio charges 6 non-citizens with illegally voting. But hold on. No. I was told by the legacy media, we watched it last week, this shit wasn't happening.
Our side, what we say at the rallies, you've heard, is we've got to make it too big to rig. I think that's really important. I think there is going to be some cheating in this election. I think non-citizens are going to vote. Look, case in point.
You
Glenn
know
Youngkin
that it is against the law for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. That's established law.
Of course it is.
It is established law, Margaret. It's illegal to vote. They can't do it. It's illegal, Senator. Senator. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt here. It's illegal. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. If you're wondering why I'm laughing at myself. I laugh mostly at myself. Announced charges on Tuesday against 6 individuals for allegedly voting as non-citizens in previous elections. I'm not laughing at the illegals voting. I'm laughing at me making fun of that lady. Look at this. The indictment came after Ohio removed 500 non-citizens. Good. From its voter rolls in August after an audit of its voter registration database. It's amazing when you perform an audit that things actually come about. You know what I mean? You actually find out the effery that's going on here. Other states like Georgia and Texas removed thousands of non-citizens from their rolls. So if they didn't have done that, guess what would have been voting? Guess who would have been voting? Because again, the legacy media, these idiots that get paid millions of dollars, can't wrap their head around this. We all can. They would be voting. Yes, they would be voting. And it's funny because you get Democrats coming out here going, well, how would they get a ballot? Well, let me explain to you, you idiot. You walk up, you get an ID like you do in the state of California, and there's no proof of identification when you're filling out a registration form, and you turn it in. That's how. And how do we know that? Because we looked at it on the channel. We looked at California. We looked at Arizona. And we looked at Texas. None of them require you to show proof of citizenship. Mind you, Democrats are going so far, like the state of California, where they're trying, or are, I can't remember if it is or is not, illegal now to show, or I should say, ask for proof of citizenship. There is either something on the laws now that just recently passed, or it was vetoed or some shit that Gavin Newsom did to where it is potentially legal to ask for ID. I don't know if that went through or not. Maybe somebody could correct me in the chat. So the right to vote is sacred. It is not, if you are not a U.S. citizen, it's illegal to vote whether you thought you were allowed to or not. Who the hell would think they're allowed to? Come on, we know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. What I would love to do, now this goes against a lot, folks, here because of, I like to think of right to privacy. Now you get some loose ends on that one with right to privacy. Does it exist? Is it actually a real thing? Was it fabricated in the Constitution? All those things. I would love to see these people that are illegals that are voting. I would love to see a transaction if some large amount of money is going in their bank account. Because remember, Act Blue, which is the Democrat Party's #1 donation system, whereas the Republicans is Win Red. So if you go to Win Red, you can sit there and donate money to the Trump campaign and the Republicans. Remember, Act Blue is taking people that say maybe donated $10 and continuing to use their information, and they're funneling money from these millionaires and billionaires into those average citizens that only put in $20. And so now these average citizens are throwing in $200,000 all of a sudden. Here's $120,000. Here's another $10,000. Here's another $50,000. And then James O'Keefe knocks on their door and says, hey, we got your name here. Is this you? Are you Janet Yellen? Yes, I'm Janet Yellen. Ma'am, you look like you're 95. I'm 98. And she goes, what you holding there? Well, Janet, 98, you're retired, right? Been retired for 45 years. Have no money in the bank. Hey, did you donate $300,000 to Kamala while she's wearing a fucking MAGA hat and a Kamala Harris shirt, you know? Well, back in 2020, I didn't know what I was doing, so I voted for who's president? And these people didn't vote for anybody. You know what I mean? And then they also sat there and only donated $20, but now somehow it says $300,000. So the foozery happens. So illegals are voting. They have even their names down, but remember, it doesn't happen. We're told, remember, it doesn't happen. Mind you, we talked about a story just like 3 weeks ago about another person that's being like thrown in jail for voting illegally. What they did was they stole somebody else's identity and they were voting on their behalf. But remember, none of this happens, you guys. This is all BS. Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. We're making it up, is what we're being told by Karine Jean-Pierre, Jen Psaki on MSNBC, and the rest of the Democrats. So, is what it is.